Oh, that was a bad idea. That might be a worse idea. Hello, we're on. Welcome back. Not much on, well, a lot's been going on out there that I can't really talk much about, but I'll talk about it, doesn't matter. What else? Stuff with printers has been happening, stuff with Daleks has been happening, and I'll try and show kind of what's been going on. I've also got this that I need to try and get open tonight and have a look at. Maybe not. And yeah, just a few other bits and pieces. I've been trying to tidy up a lot. I've got a new tool out there that I need to try and create space for. And just general trying to keep the place going, keep everything working, and do what I can to keep making stuff, I guess. I did say last week in the last stream that I would bring the Dalek back, whether it was finished or not. And if it wasn't finished, I would finish it. So here it is. It's, if I lean back a bit, there we go. So I decided to not print the silver slats. I just kind of figured it already has silver, and it has these raised bumps, which kind of look like the slats anyway. So I've printed some transparent PLA or PETG. You don't need to know what plastic it is. I printed some transparent little lights that I drew up in Fusion 360 to sort of model the movie type lights. Really, they should be a yellowy transparent orange, but this is the most transparent color I had. So now what I'm kind of left with is what to do with, that's the 7th Dalek. That's kind of, I'll probably reach my limit with how many I can really make, but what to do with so far as displaying them. So what I have ordered, and thank you to Aussie Matt for showing me this, it was a little rotisserie stand, a little rotating platform. So it'll be, whichever Dalek happens to be on display at the time during the spectacular will just be rotating. And then I thought something in the background. And what I thought for the background was to provide a bit of this was my test board for the the worst solder challenge, and I figured this big Clive supercomputer might be or the gallium board might be really good to have in the background with its flashing lights, maybe that way up, like a big sort of, I don't know, evil data display on a grey wall of a spaceship type thing. So that's what I'm thinking I might do. But trying not to keep things too big. I have got some stuff that's unboxed. Printer update. The printer, the Epson inkjet. These were absolutely black. These are the sponges from the waste ink tank. So I've been washing them out today, and I'm trying to get them dry. I was about to do I think a power wash or something. It's called a power clean. And it did say that the waste ink tank was at capacity, and that doing so would prematurely shorten the life of the printer. So I decided I'd stop and try and sort that out before I kept going. What else? I discovered the little camera has got an HD mode. So I've tried filming some stuff in HD, and hopefully on the next video, whenever that happens to be, I'll get to see whether that actually worked or not. Short of that, yeah, I've got no real agenda, so it might be over very quickly tonight, barring huge amounts of audience participation. I've got ideas for projects, but I don't necessarily want to spew them all out in the stream, because then that gives anyone a reason to watch on later on. But I suppose the stream should be the background of the projects, the behind the scenes. Jaws was on telly on Thursday night, so as much as I was trying to do work for my actual job, the rule is when Jaws is on telly, you have to watch Jaws. So I was up until nearly midnight watching Jaws. So we'll dig in. Should we start with an unboxing? Let's start with an unboxing. I'll move that. Now, I don't know what to do with this Dalek. I don't know whether this Dalek should be one that goes up for sale, or whether I should give this Dalek to someone. So if you think I should give it away, comment that you think I should give it away. And if you think I should save it and try and profiteer from it, well, not profiteer, cover the costs of showcasing, let us know, and that'd be good. Also, what I've got, just one second, I've got a little box, right? Where is it? I've got some of these, I made these little plywood boxes. I was actually toying with the idea of having a little offshoot for like Christmases and stuff to make crappy little boxes. And I actually even started a little website of the Crappy Wooden Workshop. But I think I even gave a few away. Someone did say they'd like one, and so I wrote on them in like Sharpie before I lacquered it as like CWB1, you know, Crappy Wooden Box number 1. Anyway, I made a heap of these for Scott's Vac Shack so he could store things in them. He doesn't want to store things in them anymore, but I want to store things in my little slide out fridge so that they don't go bad. And so what I thought I'd do is I would put all my glues and stuff, which they don't have many, but bear with me because I do have glues and stuff that go bad. And I thought, wouldn't it be good to at least keep all the glues and stuff in one place? And so if something leaks, they'll just all turn into one giant glob of glue. Don't worry about plenty there. Plenty more. Where's the other one? Even if when I need a sort of specialist glue, a particular kind of glue, at least I know they're all going to be in one place. And I thought, I've got a little shelf here. What if I just put that light bulb in it as well? I'm trying to clean up. I'm really trying desperately hard to be a minimalist. It doesn't work though, because I just really like stuff. Oh God, that's gone bad. Did that just break off? It might have. Did that just destroy the Dalek? No, hold on. Oh dear, there's a technical difficulty happening. Right, that's up against the wall now. It has rendered one of my drawers completely unable to be opened, so it's probably not the best box. So I might have to make a smaller one. But there you go. All the glues are together. So there's that. There's a box for switches. This was meant to be, if you're a computery person, this was meant to be an ATX power supply testing switch. So you 2 jumper pins for like pin 1 or something that you meant to earth out, and then press to connect, and hey presto, you have a power switch. And I could never get it to work because, you know, reasons. So I've just got trays of junk. What I was thinking while I had the printer set up for these little translucent lights, I might print the eye stalk discs for the NSD, because that is something now that needs to happen. There's another tube of glue. I'll put it in yonder, and that'll be handy. And I think I've even got the nozzle somewhere. There's a nozzle and a lid. I'll put that in there as well. There we go. Brilliant. And I've got still have my little collection of extra bits, because I'm sure when I do more Daleks, I will print some more bits that will be required. And that's the lid for the little gold prospecting tub that I still need to finish up. I should get that done. No one has replied on Marketplace for some Makita battery holders. So I think these are probably due for the bin, or due for the recycling anyway. And that's okay. I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm trying to tidy up. I've been watching and listening a lot about minimalism right now. Not that I'm a minimalist. I've got too much crap. I'm kind of drawn between two particular groups that I'm spending a lot of time listening to. One of them is all the minimalism podcast, and the other one is Bo Miles. Because a work thing, I have a particularly difficult class at work, and one of my ways to get them to at least engage in one of the lessons that I've got is to show them some of the Bo Miles films, some of his documentaries. There we go. We got a box. A box arrived. I should probably move the box onto a little stool. Let me see if I can sort of there you go. There's a box. Hopefully you can see the box. And I will find some kind of box opening device. That looks like a box opening device, doesn't it? No, let's be safe. Be safe, James. Hold on. Because I might need the box. I might need the box for packing up a Dalek. This box might be better than the other box that I had, where I was going to make a smaller box out of a bigger box. So this is stuff, it should be stuff to help further the other Dalek cause, both of the other Dalek causes. A lot of brown packaging. There we go. Some. Oh wow! we get a better bottle with it this time. This is methyl ethyl ketone peroxide, MEKP, basically catalyst for resin. And this is 4 liters of polyester marine 40 unwaxed laminating resin. Now, this is meant to be the one that doesn't stink too badly and shouldn't react terribly with my hands. I can tell from the box it does have an odor, but I think it'll be better. Now, I think this box might be an ideal size for packing up the other Dalek, so I won't destroy the box. Why buy 4 liters of resin? Good question. Basically, 4 liters of resin, even with $40 postage, was cheaper than buying 500 mils of resin at my local hardware shop. I know, crazy. I do have ample catalyst, so I'll put the catalyst with my glues up there, just so it's out of the way and it's in a sort of cool area. The resin, well, the resin is for 2 things. I don't know if I showed if you've seen the shorts on the channel, you'll see why I've got resin. I don't really think I could show you it because there's so much other stuff in the way. But there is a Dalek skirt out there that's been put together, and yeah, it's a. Can I? Maybe hold on. Maybe I can if I move it back here. Hold on, I'm still coming. Can you sort of walk past there? Can you sort of see it before I knock over things? That's it. Oh, bang. I'm trying to not knock things over. So I need to fiberglass up the seams of that Dalek skirt. What else arrived? Put the camera down again. Some aluminium rod arrived. One of them is bent, but I think it should be okay. What else? Oh, I need to take that back inside because language learning for beginners will be really missing that. What else do I need to do? I need to do the draw for the thwacker. So I think I will do that tomorrow. I think what I'll do is I'll give it till tomorrow morning. Anyone that wants to comment on the video, if they want to win the 500 subscriber thwacker. If it turns out to be someone I know, well, it turns out to be someone I know. If it turns out to be a complete stranger in another country, no problem with that either. So I will try and I'm going to put it into one of those, online drawing things, like one of those online spinners where you can customize and say who's it. What's the alley for? The alley is for the Dalek gun. Only one's bent. I ordered these in... I hope it's only one that's bent, but then again, my eyes, I noticed on Tuesday night at basketball, I really only have one good eye. The other one's pretty awful. There might be a couple that are bent, but one is most clearly on the piss. Hopefully it's not too bad. But the other thing is, it might be part that I can actually bend out and sort of cut off or whatever. But yeah, I ordered these on eBay before the spectacular, before the show. I ordered these, and they would, like, the exchange period had ended before they had arrived. And so I had contacted eBay to say, hey, come on, the exchange period's over. And they contacted the seller, and I got this lovely broken English message from the seller, even though they're in stock in Australia. I mean, I know it's a bit presumptive for me to think that anyone that lives in Australia speaks English, but it was more that, you know, anyone that lives in Australia would have items that you say are in stock in Australia. Yeah, there's a couple that are bent in this parcel, but these look okay. And if I bend into the kink there, it should be okay. So I forget. I think you need 8, don't you? So I got 5. I bought 10. So provided, you know, three of these look okay, 2 look like they might be on the piss, I think I'll be okay. So I guess the next thing is I need to make some kind of bending jig. And I might end up doing that with, I don't know, maybe could I do it with a router, possibly? I suppose if you bend if I routed out a channel, you know, 6mm channel in a piece of MDF or something, you know, straight with 2 45s or whatever they are. I think they're 45s. They might not be though. I'm pretty sure they're 45. Then I could sort of at least bend the first one, drop it in the thing, and then, you know, work the second one over. I'm not sure. Then again, it might be better to just have a piece of hardwood and, you know, some bolts or something that it slides in between and bend it down. Or, you know, man up and just do what everyone else does and just bend them in a vise. Bend them with a set of multi-grips or something. But hopefully, being aluminum, it should bend quite easily. But that was about $30 worth on eBay. So I'm glad they arrived. They will just go in the box of all the Dalek stuff now that needs to get used. What was the other thing I was thinking of? I can't think of it. I hate it when I do that. No, I've lost it. Bloody lost it. Never mind. It'll come back to me, like Celine Dion. I'd like to make a box and use these hinges. I 3D printed some hinges. These are ASA, I think. And I reckon it'd be fun to 3D print, or not 3D print, but to use these in a box. Like a jewelry box or something, you know. A little keepsake box. What have I got? No, my phone's... Oh, there we go. Telstra is upgrading the network. That's nice. Could they just make it work? That'd be good. So I'm trying to think of, you know, meaningful projects that will actually help me get tidied up. And one that I'm thinking of, I don't really know if it'll get me tidied up because the subject of this project is just hidden. It just lives behind the printer here. But I have this, and I'd like to not have it hiding behind the printer. What I have is this. I have this, which is an acrylic sign from I'm going to say the late 1990s. And it's actually my dad's repair shop sign that came back to me not very long ago. God, you just saw it close up my face. Sorry. And I'd like to mounted onto a board with some kind of nice edging, or recycled wood edging, or some some kind of pallet wood or something, and get it up on the wall in the shed. The only unfortunate thing is I'm not really sure where to put it. And then the other idea, I've been toying with is doing a channel logo to put on the wall somewhere. Again, I don't really know where it would go. Maybe the one idea I have is to put it on the door of the 3D printing room. So it would have to be very lightweight, which kind of, oh, right, they do. Do they have a jig thingy? I am loving that they have a jig thingy. 100%. Nice. So yeah, I'll have a look and see if I can download it. I know the Dalek Diaries guy, I think, just drew a line on the workbench, but I don't know if I work that that precisely. But I've got some. I'm just trying to think of what I can do. The other bit's that's gonna be a pain is drilling the stainless steel balls. That's not going to be fun. I'm not looking forward to that. So, what have I got? What's on the to-do? Bloody heaps. So, in trying to clean up, I've got a table saw that I'm going to need to get rid of. The other thing is I have a new table saw, but I have to finish setting it up, and it's got a cast iron top, and I can't hold it and bolt it together. Plus, I also need to check that I have actually wired the plug on it correctly, and it has got a screw that's stuck in the throat plate that I'll need to get out. So it's not quite as easy as, oh, well, just go with it, I'll have to get some screw extractors onto it tomorrow. And probably what I should be doing is actually spraying it with a lot of lubricant as well to try and release the threads a little bit on the plastic throat plate. But it's a Hare and Forbes saw. So much better than the saw that it's a professional saw. I love my little table saw. I actually forget how accurate it is. It's really, really accurate. And I almost denied about, no, I'll just keep this one, because one of the things that I do have with my current little table saw is I can roll it outside to use it. With the big one, even though it's on a mobile base, you can't roll it outside to use it. So I'm going to finish setting up the saw. I would like to do a logo, which is I'm thinking, a banana. Obviously a banana. I'm not very good at drawing bananas, but there you go. That sort of looks like a banana. And then with some 3D printed letters. And what I'd like is the banana to be LED lit, because everyone's got a backlit glowing sign, but I don't know how that will go hanging on a door. And the other thing is that I had hoped initially to actually put a window in this 3D printer room door, so I could just, turn the light on and look in without having to open the door and keep the dust out. So there's considerations there, but if I don't put it on the door, I'm not sure where I can put it. So stuff to think about. What else? I want to try and organize in here so I can, have the camera charging and whatnot. And, I've got, this is one of my students' projects. At least this one printed okay. So this is a jewelry tray. This was designed in Tinkercad. A lot of use of this particular shape. It's just been cloned and merged and whatnot. But hey, if that's what the person wanted, that's what the person wanted. I'm trying to get through to the students to really think about the size that they need. And that's probably something that I struggled a lot with, So if I struggled a lot with it at 40 or, 37 or however old I was when I started 3D printing, I've also got to take in mind, someone who's 12 or 13 is probably also going to struggle with that. Sometimes it's frustrating to me because I have to print it and hand it to them and have them realize that's not what I wanted. And they fail to realize how long it takes to print. So I hope that these things work. One print that a student asked me to do was a 20-hour print, and I can tell that it hasn't worked the way they want it to work. But I still need to go and hand it to them and then go, oh, did it not work the way you wanted? Okay, that's a shame. What could we do differently? But that's where the learning is. That's the value in the learning. I also stabbed myself. Look at that one. I stabbed myself in the thumb getting a print off of the build tack that comes on the Adventurer 4 printers. It is super sticky. And in fact, the people from FlashForge, or the representative for FlashForge in South Australia, was getting really upset at me when I was saying in a Zoom meeting, put glue stick on your build tack. And he was trying to say it doesn't need glue to help it stick. And I kept saying, it's not to help it stick. It's a release agent. You have to be able to get the part to release. And if you just put it on the build tack on its own, you're either going to ruin the build tack with a scraper or break your part trying to get it off. So, I use glue stick on my build tack because it works. If it works, why change? So yeah, I'm thinking maybe I should be drawing up some kind of thing. I don't know what size it should be. Maybe 600 by 300. Is that too big? I'd even thought about doing this. I should zoom down so you can see what the frick I'm talking about. There's my banana. I'd even thought about doing the banana out of like offcuts of wood, but I think that would probably be too heavy, to do, that kind of thing. And I'm also thinking, how would I do it? Would I have to cut the shape out of MDF or something and then rough cut the pieces, glue them on, and then maybe get a flush trim bit, turn it upside down and flush trim them all to suit? Maybe that would be how you do it. But then how do you sand it if you've got pieces that are at different thicknesses, I guess, because the profile on the side, it would look, it would sort of have bits going, it would look like that. So how would you sand in between the gaps and stuff? It would all be at different levels. So that's something that I've kind of been kicking myself over, trying to figure out how I could do it. But yeah, of course, in among all these other things, I'm thinking I just want to get my Dalek done as well. So I'm super busy. I know I'm about to be even busier at work, and I'm very much behind already. And unfortunately, my brain, when things get difficult, I go to, okay, do things that make you happy, which is being in here and making things. So I've already ordered, obviously fiberglass resin, and I have to just limit myself to one job a week. You can tell I'm jumping around topic to topic. I have to limit myself to one job a weekend. So I have to be able to say, next weekend, the job is that skirt, and it gets fiberglassed, and then it's out of here. It's out of here by Sunday or whatever day, and I can then get on with something else. And then hopefully the next weekend, the next job is something that I want to do, because I shouldn't have to, this is me being very selfish, I shouldn't have to not have, God, do I put this camera back up at my face? I don't know. I don't think I should have to not do jobs or like have weekends where I don't get out here at all. But I also need to balance that out and say, I can't have weekends where I do 5 jobs. I can't have weekends where I do 2. I've got to do 1. And so what I need to try and do is prioritize a job that I need to do and then a job that I want to do. So try and get as many of the needs to do first and then a job that I want to do. Really, I suppose for the Dalek, I am putting myself on a bit of a timeline that by August next year, the other Dalek has to be done, because either that happens, oh my God, look at the lines of my head, or by July next year, I need to take Colin apart and give him a serious refurb. So, you know, that's a more minor job. I'd rather do that once a major job's done. I don't know if that makes sense. And not that I shouldn't be killing myself with the display for these little Daleks as well. I mean, they would probably look just as impressive just sitting on a little rotisserie stand, spinning around, and somebody would go, "Oh, hello, can I buy a Dalek?" And as agreed, the answer is no, you can't buy a Dalek in here. But if you want to come to the car park, I'll happily sell you one. Yeah. So I'm kind of regretting not having another coffee, but you shouldn't have too much coffee, should you? What else? I don't know. Should we try and crack open this light box? I have this horrible feeling that there's probably nothing wrong with this light box. If only there was some way. What's it need? Well, it needs 9 volts. I wonder if I could somehow. I wonder if I could power this off my benchtop supply. If I can turn it on and see if it powers up on my benchtop supply. That'd be an easy channel logo, wouldn't it? Just put your name on there. Maybe. All right. Enough of the wallowing in self-doubt. May as well do something to confirm the doubts, right? Now this benchtop supply, I think it was providing some dubious outputs, but it could also be. I was talking about the possibility of it just being a bit of a shit connector, having a rubbish cable. So it's a nice short cable. Let's try this and see what it does. It's a pity it doesn't actually do a DC in. You could run it off. I've ordered some. Keep switching subjects. I've ordered some. It'll come to me. Maybe I've got some clip leads or something. That looks like a clip lead. I don't know what anything is. I've got no fucking idea. There's a crocodile lead. Crocodile lead or an alligator lead. There's one. Oh, there's another one. Way. Perfect. There's a pair. But I had some students that watched a stream a while back, which is nerve-wracking because I've got to be very careful about students watching the stream. And they'd seen the dog lamp. They'd seen the dog lamp video, and they would like me to have a go at making a 3D printable version of the dog lamp that's smaller, so it doesn't take 30 odd hours to print. So I've had a go at shrinking it down, but my main thing is I can't really shrink it down until I have a light source for it. So I have ordered some little USB powered LED bulbs, and that's a good connection. That's probably not a good thing to actually have those touching. Let's clip one onto there and one onto there and turn this on and see what we get. Let's turn the voltage right down. Okay, and we want DC. Right, and let's go. Yeah, 1.7. 9 volts. And do we give it some? 9.07 volts. Okay. So if I now connect to these terminals, I should be able to get this thing to light up, shouldn't I? Do I have to connect one to either side? I'm not sure. Maybe. And of course, how do I... Sometimes these little things will just lever up slightly, just so I can... Or not. Come on. Oh, well, that'll do. I just need to connect onto a negative and maybe onto the opposite positive, or do they have to be on the same side? We will find out, won't we? All right, let's see. Is this going to work? No, that's not working. Okay, let me double check them. Maybe they need to be on the same side. Oh, hello. It's on. No, we've gone back to having erroneous numbers here. No. No luck. Okay. Well, that's not helpful. Okay. Well, as these things only cost a pittance at Kmart, there's no screws. There's nothing visible under here. Just a screw for the battery compartment. So maybe it's got a connection that's dropped off. Spudger. Do I have a spudger? Hold on. A spudger might be out here. I have a spudger and a putty knife. So shall I? It's a very well worn spudger, but let me see if I can spudge this apart. There's a bit of a... Oh, that would sound broken. That didn't go well. I wonder if I can spudge it and then use the putty knife to sort of hold it open. And I get a seam through there, and it's like opening up a Mac Mini. You need multiple putty knives. Well, I can sort of... I'm starting to see underneath. I think it might be glued. I wonder if some IPA might be needed. It's kind of China's finest here. Oh, there it is. I mean, I dare say the electronics in this are probably 3 clips. So. Oh, there it goes. 1, 2. The other one release. Come on. I really don't want to slip with another putty knife this week. There we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. Oh wow, there's many clips around the outside. Oh, it's just all right. So, oh yeah, there's all LEDs that are just hot glued in. Okay. There we go. I only broke a couple. There's only a couple of clips that broke. All right, so there's an incoming. Right. But I'm sure those 2 clips aren't that important. It's just snapped off a couple of those. And I haven't busted my finger open. Okay. Incoming supply is actually on the other side. So that's kind of important. So let's try that again. Because really, I should be able to get them to glow. I think I should be able to get some kind of glowworm action happening. So switch positive. Let's turn that on. There we go. Okay. All right. I might need to heat that up again with some hot glue just to stuff it back down, but I'm sure it'll probably be fine, even if I just put some clear tape on it. All right, so it's cardboard, some hot snot glue, and a bit of, and many clips. So what I can say from that is that there's nothing wrong with it. And what was going on is that this thing, I had it connected to the other side. So essentially I was trying to feed it back into this, which was not going well. And so it just sort of went into overload protection, safety mode, which is good. That's probably what it should be doing. So these are just some little LED strips. Though they do have a clip behind them, but they're LED on maybe some fiberglass board, maybe a really thin piece of like PCB, surface mounted, with little, maybe a 15 ohm, oh no, 500 ohm resistor, 510. I was looking at it upside down and seeing 015. So that's cool. That's nifty. And they are in. Now I think these are in parallel. Oh no, they can't be, because what's happening is that the positive from this side running through the switch, so the positive's going through here. and then the negative's there. So the negative here is connected to the positive there. That's parallel, isn't it? I don't think that's in series. Series is when you're positive to positive and you just keep going, don't you? I think that's parallel. Then again, if I were doing this, I'd have just gone, oh, well, connect that positive up to that positive, and, you know, that goes onto the negative and the negative goes to that one. Maybe they've just done it that way because it saves wire. I don't know. I'd have thought when you have them go around, that's what you do. I know nothing, but oh well, it works. It works. Scott can have his sign back, and so these clips aren't the ones that actually retain it. They just sort of grab onto this ledge. Might have bent one a bit there, but it's actually these clips and these that actually snap the whole thing in. So no harm done there. Very interesting little setup. How much? Yeah, how minimal is that? I should buy one of these, and it should just be my channel thing. Series, damn! I thought I was right about something. There you go. So if they're in series, then there I can do my one thing. If they're in series, if one LED goes out, they all go out, and you've got to try and bridge it out, don't you? But yeah, all good. Happy days. Can I get it back together? Can I get it back together? And if I hold it up, no, the front doesn't fall off, so it's not an Australian oil refinery ship. If you're into Clark and Door, remember when the front fell off? So yeah, that's all right. I'll put that back on straight. So here's what I'm guessing went wrong. A mixture of rechargeable cells were being used, and probably number one, these are 1.25 volts and this wants 1.5. Not usually a big issue for most things, but I bet one of them wasn't charged. And then that led to oh no, the whole thing's broken, it's not working. And yes, it was. It was working just fine, doing what it should do on its merry little way. So there we go. Happy times. Here's what I'm wondering. Right, this is my camera battery charger. I'm wondering if I can make a wall mount for this so that it sits on something on my wall there, and I can just put the battery in when I need it. But the other thing I'm wondering is if they already make such a thing. So that might be my browsing of Thingiverse or something. But I only need to be a little sort of holder that it just, it's only got to sit in and, maybe envelop the side a little bit. Doesn't matter if it's not perfect, just to sit on there with a little exit hole for the connector. I mean, that's something surely I could draw that up. Surely. I mean, I've got verniers, and I've got a pencil, and I've got some paper. Surely that's within my realms of ability. I'm about to lose a picture back here. Hold on. Right. So there you go. So this thing, obviously it's got to have an internal and an external dimension. But if you look at my meter holders, I mean, they're much the same. So here's my inside dimension has got to be at least 85.5. So I'm going to say 86 millimeters internal. So it's going to be, it's got to be a little pocket thing, right? Sort of looking like this. And in here, it's got to be 86. Right. And width-wise, it's got to be at least, sort of go along there. It's got to be at least 25, 24 and a half. Let's say 25. From the bottom, at about 9 millimeters, there's got to be a gap for the charge port. So at 9, and then again at say 33, and then the whole thing has got to be, I don't know, I'd say at least 57 on the nose. So let's say give it a mill's grace and say 58. And all it needs is a little lip around the bottom, you know, like if it was 8 millimeters tall, that would kind of take it up to there, and hopefully you would still be able to see the lights, even if it's a little 5 millimeter lip, or even if it actually cradled this whole half of the charger like that, and it was just an open part on there, you know, a little lip on there on that side. I'd say 5 and probably 5 there, you know, with a couple of screw holes in the back so I can attach it to the wall, or some spot for some double-sided tape. So what I'd do is I'd make this to the outer dimension of everything, so, and then I just cut holes in it in the appropriate places, hollow it out. So what I would do first is I would make this whole thing, you know, with 2 millimeters on either side. So I'd make basically a big rectangular prism that was, what did I say? So I'd be 90 by 29 by, let's say, 62. And from there, then start cutting away and then cut these internal dimensions out to make the sort of main body cavity for the charger just drop into, and then start cutting away a piece for the, you know, cut away a piece for where the battery is going to drop in off the front, and then cut away a piece for the charger in the side. It's probably what I should do. That's probably a decent little job to do. And then I could 3D print it, and it would be something that would get made while I'm not doing anything. But yeah, that's the plan. I shouldn't be yawning on the live stream. I should be very energetic and excited. I'm trying to think if anything else has arrived. Some Doctor Who Blu-rays arrived, and I've already handed them off because they're my Christmas present. It's funny, I'm listening to all these podcasts and stuff about minimalism. Christmas is something that I'm not really thinking much about. I was used to, even as an adult, love getting stuff, but, you know, just not really thinking about it. Well, there you go. That's brought it to a downer. Anywho, that's probably, if I can't really think of much else. I'll hopefully get the saw set up, and hopefully the plug that I've put on it works, and hopefully I can find a short extension lead, or hopefully I can find an extension lead that I can cut and put 2 plugs on to be able to run the thing. I'm also going to need to run a dust extractor while it's going. But yeah, thanks for your time. Thanks for taking the time, everyone. And hopefully I've got a bit more energy for the next one. But yeah, until then, Be well. Don't get exterminated. If you see some flies around your house and you have a tin of Mortein, just remember you're not a true Doctor Who fan if you've never used a Dalek voice while you're spraying flies. See you later, all.